Hey everyone! So, let's talk about something we all see when we book a flight. Travel insurance. That little tick box, right? You just click add on and kind of hope for the best. But what are we actually paying for? Today, we're going to break it all down, simple. You know that feeling, la. You're planning that big trip, finally. Scrolling through pictures, imagining yourself on a beach somewhere, or maybe lost in some big, exciting city. So you've booked the flights, found a great hotel deal. Your bags are practically packed already. That holiday mood is kicking in. Everything's looking perfect. But there's always that little voice in the back of your head, isn't there? What if? What if something goes wrong? What if the flight gets canceled? Or worse, what if you get sick? Things you just can't predict. And that's the first thing we need to get real about. Every dream trip, it comes with some very real risks. And trust me, these risks can cost you a whole lot more than just a bad mood. Okay, check this out. This is a real story. A family was all ready to go to the Philippines. Everything was booked and paid for. But just 4 days before they were supposed to fly, a volcano erupted. Can you imagine? They had to cancel the whole thing. Without insurance, all that money, gone. Poof. Thousands of ringgit. But because they had it, they got their non-refundable money back. That is what insurance is for. It's a safety net for your wallet when things go crazy. All right, so we get it. It's important. But all the terms and conditions. So confusing, Con. Don't worry, we're going to make this super simple. Basically, there are just two main types of cover you really need to understand. Okay, listen up. First, there's what you call traditional travel insurance. Just think of this as insurance for your trip. So if your luggage gets lost or your flight is canceled, this is the one that covers it. Simple. Then there's travel medical insurance. This one's insurance for you, for your body. So if you get sick, need to see a doctor, or God forbid, end up in a hospital, this is the cover you need. Now, some policies mix both, but you absolutely have to know the difference between the two. Next big choice, single trip plan or an annual one. It's actually really straightforward. If you're just taking 1, maybe 2 trips a year, a single trip plan is probably going to be cheaper for you. But if you travel a lot, like 3 or more times a year, then an annual plan is a real game changer. It can save you a bunch of money and so much hassle. You just buy it once, and boom, you're covered for the entire year. Okay, now, I need you to really pay attention to this next part. This is probably the most important thing we're going to talk about today. We all assume that when we buy insurance, everything is covered. But that's not true. There's a lot it doesn't cover, and this misunderstanding is how people get into huge trouble. It all comes down to the fine print, the exclusions. For instance, most standard plans won't cover pre-existing medical conditions, like if you have high blood pressure or asthma, unless you declare it and maybe pay a little extra. Thinking of doing something adventurous, like skydiving? Yeah, probably not covered unless you buy a special add-on. And it's common sense, right? You can't buy insurance for a problem you already know is coming, like booking a flight right into a typhoon's path. The point is, insurance isn't a magic wand. You must read what you're not covered for. So let me tell you a real story that was in the news. It's quite shocking. There was this Malaysian guy, 49 years old, on holiday in Vietnam, just enjoying his trip, And then, out of nowhere, he gets this massive headache, starts vomiting, and just collapses. He gets rushed to the hospital, and the doctors find out he's had a sudden brain hemorrhage. He needed emergency surgery right there and then to save his life. So, the first bill comes in. How much you think? 100,000 ringgit. 100,000 ringgit. Just imagine getting that bill. For most families, that's a life-changing amount of money. But hey, he had travel insurance, so it should be okay, right? No, wrong. The insurance company paid 0. Nothing. Not a single cent. Why? Because, and this is the big aha moment, most basic travel insurance plans here in Malaysia only cover accidents. Like a car crash or a bad fall. They often do not cover sudden medical emergencies like a stroke or a brain hemorrhage, especially if they can link it to a pre-existing condition. And that one tiny detail is what almost everyone misses. Okay, hold on. If this breakdown is giving you a clearer picture and helping you connect the dots, do me a quick favor, hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps us out, and this way you'll always stay ahead on Malaysia's biggest issues. All right, I know, that last story was pretty scary. But the point isn't to scare you, it's to prepare you. So enough with the problems, let's talk solutions. How do you pick a plan that actually has your back when you need it? It's actually a pretty simple 4-step guide. Step 1, think about your needs. Seriously, where are you going? America, where medical bills are insane, or just a weekend trip to Singapore? Are you going to do any risky activities? Do you have any existing health conditions? Be honest with yourself. Step 2, research. Look at the different companies out there. Etiqa, AIG, Tomb Protect, you name it. Step 3, compare what they offer. And please, don't just look at the price. Look at the medical coverage amount. This is key. And step 4, the most important step of all, read the actual policy before you pay. Know what you're buying. Here's a good rule of thumb for you. A decent insurance plan should cost you somewhere between, say, 3% to 10% of your total trip cost. So if you find a plan that's super, super cheap, you have to ask yourself why. Chances are the coverage is also super, super basic. And this slide shows you exactly why you can't just compare prices. Look here. One plan might offer 100,000 ringgit in medical coverage. Remember the guy in Vietnam? That's exactly how much his bill was. But for maybe just a little bit more money, another company offers 500,000 or even 750,000. The difference in what you pay might be small, but the difference in what you're covered for, it's massive. This is the number you need to be looking at. Okay, so what if the worst does happen and you actually need to make a claim? What's the process? It can feel a bit scary, but honestly, if you know the steps, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, 5 simple steps. 1, contact your insurer as soon as possible. They all have a 24-hour hotline. Use it. Don't wait. 2, get official documents. If something got stolen, you need a police report. If it's a medical thing, you need a doctor's summary. 3, document everything, and I mean everything. Keep every receipt, every bill, take photos. You can't have too much proof. 4, fill out the claim form. Be detailed, be accurate, just stick to the facts. And 5, follow up. Don't just send it in and wait. Stay in touch with them. And that's pretty much it. The smart way to handle travel insurance. Look, if you want more of this, clarity, not confusion, then join thousands of other Malaysians and tap that like button and hit subscribe. Let's keep making sense of these big topics together. So to wrap it all up, what's the one thing to remember? It's this. Travel insurance is not a magic wand. It doesn't just cover everything. It's a tool designed for very specific risks. So you have to read the details, understand what you're actually buying. That's how you get real peace of mind when you travel. So I'll leave you with this one last question. On your next trip, when you see that little checkbox, are you just going to click add insurance blindly, or are you going to be a savvy traveler, a protected expert who knows exactly what they're covered for? The choice is all yours. Travel safe, everyone.